for people, okay, on their financial journey, um, and they become a millionaire.
Mhm.
Um, okay, what should they do next? Like, what's next after you become a millionaire? I'll give some
Uh,
advice. Don't make any large purchases, including
so hold on, say it again.
make
Run that
any
back.
large. Don't make any large purchases,
Yep. Stay in the same
including
place you've been in.
including a house. Stay-
Rashad, they're gonna say that you're an anti-homist. I'm not gonna let this go.
No, with that,
But tell them why that's important.
yeah.
because your primary home, unless it's a multi-family home, is
Mhm.
not going to be a asset for you in the moment
Mhm.
over the course of time, but it's going to be a liability for you in the moment. So you're still trying to collect as many assets as possible to grow your wealth.
Mhm.
You don't want to take two steps back after you made three steps forward. So you make $1 million and you have $1 million, and then you spend
700.
600,000 on a house that's going to cost you an additional 8,000 a month. That's going to cost you an additional 30,000 a year in
I
taxes.
gotta go get
Then
furniture
you
and
then you go
landscaping.
right back to where you started, a
Mhm.
couple 100,000.
Mhm.
And like Meek Mill said, that ain't real money. That's bail money. No disrespect, but that
Hello.
one 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 bad situation, and now you back to rock bottom. So it's about playing a long game. Real estate for sure is a good investment over the course of time. It has always gone up in value, but it can hurt you as well. So if you're going to buy real estate, we talked about the multifamily play,
Mhm.
or talked about as far as having places that other people live in, and now you're a landlord and you're collecting rent while your asset appreciates. And you might want to continue to actually rent a place, because if you're actually doing business out that place or it's structured properly with your CPA, you can write that off as a tax write-off. But you're
Mhm.
still keeping large sums of money. You have access to it. You never want to tie your money up until
Never.
you can properly afford it. When you get to a point, it doesn't matter. Then it's like, all right, it doesn't even matter. But until then, when you first become a millionaire, some of the trappings of success is the large real estate play.
Mhm.
It's
Luxury car
a
BS.
luxury car done the wrong way,
Mhm.
right? As far as putting $200,000 down or buying a car and $250,000 outright in cash because you feel like you have enough money, when that's going to go down in value over the course of time. And then by the time you sell it, you're going to get $75,000 back out of it. And you just lost $150,000 for no reason. Um, Avoiding lifestyle creep.
Yep.
That's really important. And just continue to invest in smart investments, and to really, really value and respect the money. You
Mhm.
got to respect money. I told this story on M2N, and they was telling us about Aliko Dangote, and Aliko Dangote, the richest black person in the world, Nigerian tycoon. And they were saying, like, he was kind of like, he had a situation where he was like buying something that was pretty minuscule in the grand scheme of things, a bagel or something like that. But he was just, kind of going over the bill with the waitress just to make sure that, he was getting charged for the right thing. And some people might look at it like, well, if you're worth $30 billion, what's an extra $10 going to do? But it's a
Mhm.
mindset. And it's a mindset of entertainers that, so you, on one hand, you got extremely rich people that'll look over every line item
Everything.
of everything. Then you have other people, like some entertainers or some athletes,
Mhm.
that will just say, "Ah, fuck it, it's an additional $5,000 here and there. I'm not too stressed about it. I'm getting paid 50,000. If I can't get the Phantom to pick me up, I'm not going to go to the show." That type of mindset will lead you broke, because you're not valuing the money because you have money coming in. So you're not looking at it from a standpoint of it doesn't really mean anything to you until it does.
Yeah, I think that's all spot on. I think living below your means is something um, I'm doing it for. I mean, I'm gonna talk from a personal standpoint. It was like the first made a million. How do I make two? Right? Like, how do we double this? How can I double this? Not how much can I spend? How do I double this? And what time frame can I double this in? The next thing was like, all right, we made a million. How much of it do we actually keep? Right? Because that's the other part. Let me figure out
Yeah.
how I can make these tax incentives to actually keep a majority of it if I can. And then it was, all right, let's live below your means. And so make the million, look at, especially in real estate, having a home. Like I had a home and I'm looking at, all right, my income is going up. Do I get the home right away? No, man, like we waited 5 years before we bought the home, right? I was still living in the home that I started the show in, right? And so I'm when I started doing the calculations, I'm like, I remember watching somebody break down like how much your monthly disposable income should go to your living. And it was like, oh, 30%. I'm like, nah, I gotta have it at 10%. You know what I mean? So I made $1 million and my mortgage was 3,000. I'm less than almost like 1% of that income. I'm like, okay, perfect. I don't need to have a home. How can we get cars, but we can do it in a strategic way that makes sense, that it can be a tax write-off? So now we do that. Now it's just a clear road to saying, all right, I've knocked down all those barriers. How do we get to 2? Right? What do we have to invest in? What moves do we have to make? How can we strategically align ourselves in partnerships that can get us to there? And so once we get to the 2, it's like, all right, well, how do we get to 4? It was the same idea that I had when I was working, saying, all right, this is what I need to stop working. All right, this is what I need to do to stop working, plus have my wife stop working. And so always having that plan and being disciplined, like you said, respecting money, being disciplined with money, but also being super vigilant with money. Like you watch this, like in the world we live in, right? Especially in this world, and definitely during that pandemic era.
You see it come and go.
You're being mindful of how money's being respected, how it's being spent, how it's being abused, and you're also watching people no longer have it. And so like that becomes like the catalyst to say, all right, now we got to be even more stringent with it, because like that's a telltale sign. That sign wasn't put into your life for you to just ignore it. Take heed to it, learn from it, and figure out how not to make those mistakes.
Great question from this brother, and I appreciate you asking it. Number one, what I was told, no lifestyle creep until you get to your first 11. 1 is good. Your nose is above financial water. No lifestyle creep until you get, and that's a thing that I live by. And even after you get to 11, you can argue to minimize lifestyle creep then. Number 2, invest in things that increase your happiness index. The thing that people don't tell you, like after you hit these monumental numbers, the high of hitting them goes away relatively fast. The person who you became on that journey is more important. And I used to hear that and be like, just give me the million. But you'll hit this goal. And now there's a level of emptiness because now you realize I just got to the first level of the mountain. It's a lot more to climb up. Third, be debt free. I know a lot of people are going to tell you some debt is good and da. There's no better feeling than owing nobody. No institutions, no banks, no people, nothing. Being free and clear is the way to go. And then lastly, you have to put your money into assets that have zero probability of going to zero. If 10 years ago I told you bonds were not a good investment, you would have thought I was an absolute psycho. Here we are, half decade of bonds being underwater. So look for the investments that won't go to zero and that will give you a great return on investment that will allow you to sleep well. That's why when I tell you guys, if you're asking me every week about a particular company, is it overweighted, you are invested either at the wrong price or the stock's too volatile. And if you do those 5 or 6 things in combination, you'll be great. And be A-okay. But no lifestyle creep till you get to your first 11.
Yeah, I mean, just don't do anything stupid too, because sometimes that is a golden rule. Invest your money in stocks, long term, like you said, good companies. Avoid large purchases. Don't buy jewelry. That's another thing that you think so you might be doing something that's intelligent, like a house, but watch is not going up in value. 9 times out of 10, that's that they told to you. Diamonds is in shambles. Right when fucking
all-time low.
These Zimbabwe, these countries bought De Beers at a moment when diamonds are about to be worthless.
All-time low. Crazy you said that. I just looked at a chart of the value of diamonds. They're at an all-time low.
No, they're all-time low because lab diamond. I was talking. We on Eric the Jeweler. He's here, and he was. I'm asking him about, and he's like, "Yeah, no, lab diamonds." He's showing me lab diamonds. He's like, "Yeah, look at this lab. The diamond, like they do the diamond test.
Diamond tester, yeah.
Diamond test on a lab diamond comes back as a real diamond. Real. So why would I pay for something that I could actually manufacture and it's the real thing? It's not even. It doesn't even. It passed the test. Diamonds is dead, and like I said, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's an extremely unfortunate situation because, like they just one of my guys, shout out to Alvin, he actually sent me that yesterday, and they was like, man, this is dope. Like, you know what I'm saying, like we got one as far as on Africa because in Angola and Botswana teamed up, and they formed a partnership to buy De Beers, I think. And I'm like, yeah, it's just interesting that was the timing of it because diamonds at an all-time low, and it's probably not going to be worth the same thing. So it's the reason why they sold the company.
For sure, it was that they were the liquidity to get out. And I keep saying that when you get money, every company on earth finds a way to rob you legally. Meaning, every watch company, diamond company, luxury experience company, everyone has a 70,000. 80,000, 200,000. Like just every watch company, Jacob has his resurgence, right? There's some watches going for 900,000 that are worth 900,000. You have to be careful. And I know it may not look fun, but most of the people who are posting on the gram for the gram, they're not happy. They are asset light, liquid light. Be careful.
Extremely light. It goes into that theory of like you start to question anything. And everything, right? Like the average person that walks up to a diamond ring or a diamond, they're not going to know the difference. And the diamond, they're natural elements. And so a lab can create something that put those elements together at the same cut, same clarity, add color. You can see why that business would be very disruptive.
I mean, not even the average person, no person. If you could create something that's literally the same exact thing, and test on it, no person can tell the difference. The diamond industry, that's terrible for the diamond industry, unless you just have so much money where you just say, like, I just want just real diamonds.
Yeah. And if you have a good jeweler, they'll tell you it's not even, shout out to Big Mike. Mike, but it's not even worth you getting the real diamonds for what you can do with money.
At that point, it would matter.
It makes, he's like, it's a bad investment. He's a jeweler. No, be careful. Everybody has a $190,000 car to sell. Now, if you had 1 million, in 2 days you can run through $1 million if you're stupid. You can. Diamonds are a girl best friend. If you got 3 girls, you're gonna be out of 60 real quick. And then when that doesn't go well and they go pawn your ish off, that's why I keep saying put the money into assets that matter. Yo, be careful. And some of y'all getting robbed by women who got BBLs on. Be careful. Be careful. Stay invested for the long term.
Long term, 10 years.
But what I know, at least
10-year hold.
The BBL play.